Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22, and here's an instructional video from us today. Here in our little quaint, occasionally bodunk town, a lot of people don't know how to use intersections, and today we're going through the intersection of Washington Street and Buffalo Street, and the intersection of Washington Street and 7th Street. It's kind of a complicated amalgam. We just kind of did a tutorial video not more than actually 10 minutes ago if you're actually the cameraman here. But we just did a tutorial video and also a explanation where it's more of a commentary of how public office has failed us. So in terms of like just trying to make the people happy for dumb stuff. But we're gonna do a tutorial here. So we're going down Washington Street. We're going down Washington Street, heading eastbound. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to this intersection up here. And a lot of people don't see the big deal about it, but they also don't get it, and it causes a lot of congestion, and they want to rework it, and there's no better way to rework it just given the way that the things that have happened with our intersection here. So you come to this intersection, both stop signs, so Buffalo Street has to yield to whoever was here first. We'll drive up. Once we hit this, you'll probably, if you could see in my rearview mirror, the car behind me will immediately pile up behind me. So we're going to take this one more time so you can get it from a different angle. But essentially, the car where I was, I get there, there's no car to my left, or there was a car to my left first. You never know. You have to yield to whoever's there first, and then they pop into that first spot. And it's only from that direction is it an issue. So, it's only from that direction that it's an issue. Well, in terms of what causes the bottleneck, right? What doesn't cause the bottleneck, that's what causes the bottleneck, is idiots like start piling up behind one another. And we'll probably actually get out on the street for this one, just so you all can see it. But when you were in my position there, you go forward. If that spot is open, the spot in front of you, there is room for one vehicle. You can try to squeeze two in, but now you're actually sitting in a spot that's not designed. People are waving at me because I'm talking with my hands. But you're working in a spot that is not designed to have, it's supposed to be a waiting spot. There's one car in queue, if you will. So the car that's in queue, and I could probably do like a time lapse. I could set up a camera there, I'm sure, and do a time lapse aspect of this, which I think would be almost unnecessary because everybody sees this intersection. And maybe people have to call me back to back if I don't answer. So anyways, I come up here. This car's taking a right. He was there first, or he's taking a left. That car was there first. He's taking a yield. We're gonna go through, watch this dump truck right here. Well, most likely, yep, pull up. That car has to vacate that spot for them to actually sit in that, for them to move up to that spot. And if you look in my rear view mirror behind me, you'll probably see, yep, the red car will try to squeeze in there as if there's a two car in queue aspect. There is not. You do not have two cars in queue there. You do not have a second queue, if you will. That is not reserved for you. You must stay at your stop sign until it is your turn. You stay there. Once that car has then yielded to the four-way stop and goes somewhere else, you then can go into that spot if it is your turn to go into the queue. That's it. The two stop signs from Buffalo Street and Washington Street, pre the Washington Street 7th Street intersection, everybody's yielding to that intersection. It's a four-way stop. Those guys have to yield to that intersection. Their stop signs become subsidiary of the next stop sign, but there's only one queue to take 2 lanes of traffic. Hence, that's who they yield to. They yield to one another as necessary, but they have to ultimately yield to whatever transpires in the 7th and Washington intersection. But most people are idiots, and so they don't, and they're impatient. They're like, okay, I have stopped. it is my turn, and I cannot wait at this stop sign for more than like half a second before I must go somewhere. That's the mentality. I feel that urge too, but I fight that urge to follow the rules of the road. If you don't follow the rules of the road, there should be more dire consequences. Don't get me started on people that block a side road. There's a stop sign piling up, and everybody's blocking the side roads coming in. Traffic is halted on all directions. More people need to start being ticketed for such infractions. So that was Washington Street, 7th Street intersection tutorial, along with your standard tutorial on how to handle Washington Street meeting Buffalo Street as well. And that's just been a huge pet peeve of mine. I'm glad you were able to join me for that one. And we're gonna have one more later, and it's not really well, we have one more tutorial later, and we have one more lovely video on how our Common Council does not understand the rules of the road and etiquette in which we follow the priority structure of stop sign, yield signs, unspoken signs, and the ebbs and flows of traffic. So we'll get into that later. We'll catch you guys next time. Life22. Peace.